Hi, and welcome to Single Player Racing. It's Matt here, and it's time for our first review and the first time we've spoken on the channel. So today we're looking at the recently released Project Cars 2 from Slightly Mad Studios, the studio responsible for the original Project Cars and the Need for Speed Shift series. Now, there was quite the share of criticism levelled at the original Project Cars, despite it being in my mind a solid game with a great track roster and a wide variety of cars. So, 2 years later, the big question is, have Slightly Mad taken a big enough step forward to compete with the latest racing titles from other developers? In short, yes, they have. The biggest complaints about the original were focused on the handling and damage models. With the handling, it was too easy to lose the back end of the car with no chance of correcting the error, and with the damage, although the details and level of destruction were second to none, the crashes would seem to appear sped up and unnatural. With Project Cars 2 sporting a new tyre model, car control and handling has been improved immensely, an instrumental change vital for the inclusion of the rallycross cars this year. The team has taken the time to work with manufacturers, test drivers and racing drivers, including McLaren chief test driver Chris Goodwin, racing driver Nicholas Hamilton and former Stig Ben Collins, in order to make the game as authentic as possible, and the effort has really paid off. A refined damage model means that during collisions the car physics behave in a more realistic fashion. Debris feels more weighty, especially if you collide with it, and the AI are more likely to make race-ending errors. The addition of difficulty levels up to 120% for the AI and a new slider relating directly to their aggression adds even more opportunities to fine-tune your opponent's ability levels. The new streamlined career mode is packed with content from a 6-tier multi-class structure and also features a variety of invitational and affinity-based manufacturer events. Add all of this to the peerless Live Track 3.0 and its phenomenally detailed dynamic weather effects, as well as the user-friendly gamepad controls for the more casual player, and you know that Project Cars 2 has nailed a winning formula. There are some absences from the original Project Cars roster though. No more Formula Gulf 1000, Formula B or a handful of other cars, but this is more than made up for by the inclusion of new cars such as the McLaren P1 GTR and of course the Ferrari and Porsche licenses, with the promises of further expansions to come. These expansions will include extra cars, tracks and liveries through paid DLC and are sure to make the large selection of content even richer. The inclusion of more real-life motorsport liveries is a great addition to the game. As a fan of the British GT Championship, it's great to see that you can paint the 2016 Lamborghini Huracan GT3 in its Barwell Motorsport liveries, for example. From launch, the track list has grown too. Notable additions include the speedway tracks at Indianapolis, Daytona and Texas, new rallycross tracks, new ice driving tracks, and the classic versions of S.P.R and Monza. Want to take an Aston Martin DB11 for a bit of rallycross? Sure. How about lapping an 80s Formula 1 car around a frozen lake in Sweden? Go for it. Actually, oh no, this was a terrible idea. The freedom of choice afforded to the player here is great, and the fact that every element of the game is accessible right out of the box is a major selling point, encouraging players to experiment with unusual combinations of cars, tracks and weather conditions. Speaking from the perspective of a console player, it's a really great time for racing games with a simulation focus right now. So that's Project Cars 2. Please drop us a like or subscribe if you enjoyed this quick review. Thanks for watching.